So I'm Devina, and I am the founder of Devina Louise, which is a women's fashion brand. And I really strongly believe in quality and sustainable clothing because I've seen what fashion has done to our environment. So not only am I creating all the garments here in Sydney, Australia, I'm also now working with a charity that plants trees. So for every product that is sold, we plant a tree, which I think is really beautiful, and that's something really close to my heart. And the clothing that I produce is made from linen, and it's very flowy, beachy, everyday wear, and it's designed to make every woman feel beautiful exactly the way they are. Well, now as you know, I have my own studio and I have two people working with me or for me. And I'm still at the markets doing the rocks, which has been going really well, so that's a great part of the business. But I'm also now working with someone who's building a brand new website. I've already worked with someone to get a brand new logo design, and she's just done everything like email, signature, all my little labels, and just so that it's got this more professional feel. And yeah, now I'm building a website, and then, which is what we actually wanted to do, well, what that was part of my goal, is to do the Facebook ads and Instagram ads, because I really want to push the online, because I'm still at the market. So some of the most important things that I've learned over the last couple of years, well, for one, it really helps to have someone there that is looking from the outside, guiding, like a coach, like I had with Engenesis. Because the early stages of my business were extremely difficult. I was at the markets and it wasn't really sustainable, and I couldn't see a way out. So I feel like working with someone really helps to clarify where you want to go, and just see different possibilities out there. Because often when you're in it, you can't see. Got your little blinkers on. So that was really important, and being clear on what it is you want, and just creating little milestones, little goals, having the end goal in mind, but little milestones, because then when you can tick that off, it's a really great feeling, and you know that you've achieved something. But yeah, it's really important to keep going and trust and believe. It definitely isn't easy, but I think it's 100% worth it, and yeah, I love how far I've come. So the highlights that I get to do in my business now, well, first of all, compared to 2 years ago when I was literally working from my bedroom at home, now I get to walk into my studio and I have an assistant who helps me, and all of my fabrics now get shipped off to a person in Sydney, Australia, who makes everything, so I'm not doing it all myself. So I actually get to be the creative part of this process and not having to doing all the work. So yeah, I've taken a step back from doing the physical work, which I think is very important if you're running a business. And I just love that I have someone that I can work with. So the way my brand has evolved, initially I was just kind of creating clothing that people wanted or liked, or that I liked, but it wasn't very specific. And now over the years, I've really honed in on linen and my particular style for my particular target audience, which is, again, something I clarified with Engenesis, and I did not know before that, and I think that's really vital. And now, because I feel like it's time for me to give back, and using the idea of linen and sustainability and Australian-made, I'm also now working with the charity to plant trees for every purchase, so that not only are you, or is the customer, doing something or treating themselves, they're also helping and supporting our environment. The reason that I moved into linen was, well, apart from the fact that it actually sells really well, which is not my main reason, but I just really love working with it, and I really love wearing it. So I feel like if I feel good in what I'm wearing, so would the customer. And that was the whole idea, is that you feel good in what you're wearing rather than polyester or something really synthetic. But also there's a bit of science behind linen and cotton. I know people really love cotton, but it's actually not that great for our environment because of the amount of water it's used to produce. Yeah, so those were some of the reasons. And also because I can scale it. With linen, this linen that I've ordered, it's something that I can continue to reorder, and therefore I know that I can keep having that product because I now have way more sales. Definitely I've put up my margins a lot on my products, and I feel like I have the confidence and to do that. I feel worthy to do that the products are worth it, and that people understand that it is actually, that's an okay price. Yeah, some memories I have of my pricing, basically I did start my pricing very low, and it was just this belief that it couldn't be any higher. I really did struggle to put my prices up, and I remember working with Arya at Engenesis that it was quite important, but it was a bit of a battle between the both of us. He was asking me to put it up, and I was not so keen. And it's funny how now I do still have lower pricing, and I think that's okay because you want to attract, even if someone doesn't want to spend more now, they might be more happy to spend less. And that's sort of the strategy I have around pricing now and the confidence. So now my prices are $95 or $165, and some people don't want to pay that, and that's okay, but some people will, and that's the people that you want to get, and I'm okay with that, and that's really exciting actually. Working through the Genesis framework really helped me to define my brand. So before that I was not very clear on what actually I was selling or who I was selling to or where I stood in the market, but working through this framework really helped me to identify that. Comparing myself to other brands already in the market also made me feel validated, I suppose, and that I am a brand, and it helped me hone in on where I stand in the market. Working with Engenesis really helped me to define my brand, which was so important for me because I feel like that was the starting block of where I am today. As I mentioned, I wasn't very clear on where I stood in the market or who really I was targeting, my target audience. My why. In fact, working with Engenesis really helped me hone in on my why. And that's really helped me to continue and embody my brand and build it now further and further. So working with linen has been really important because I know that that's a really good move for the environment, and it's a really great thing that people love to wear. So actually really defining what my brand was about from the very early stages is something that stuck with me, and had I not done that, I feel like I wouldn't have had the milestones that I have now. So for me, it was really important that people light up and feel joy every day, and that they get to sparkle, which is a part of, I don't know, it's just, that's, I think, what's important in life. And from that, I feel like it's evolved to more conscious living. So not only feeling good in the clothing, but also consciously deciding what it is that I want to buy, whether it's clothing, food, anything, but just becoming more conscious about our world, because that also lights you up as a person, not just always being in your own bubble, but consciously embodying every day. But that really has stemmed from my why, which is really important, and that will always be really important for me, and I will base all my decisions based on that. And I really was not clear on that earlier on, and it's really stuck with me, and I love that. It's really, really valuable. Yeah, actually the way that I can see that I've grown, for one, I'm pretty sure 2 years ago I was very close to giving up. Yeah, it was really difficult. And so I feel like I've come a long way since then. It's almost as if the growth of my business was a reflection of the growth of myself. And I'm more confident to make certain business decisions and invest more money in certain areas which I would not have done previously. And I'm excited about my business. I rock up to my studio and I'm excited to be there and I love it. So that is definitely quite a difference. Not that I didn't love it before, but it felt really hard. And now I feel like with a lot of the skills and knowledge and experience that I've got and gained, it just I can see that it's possible and I know that I'm on the right path. So some of the things that I would tell someone that's starting their own business or a young person like myself, for one, definitely you need some perseverance and more perseverance. And it really helps to have someone guiding you. I do recommend having a mentor. They do help you see things that you wouldn't usually see yourself sometimes, different possibilities, opportunities, and obviously they also might have more experience, so it's really, really helpful. And I would really, really hone in on your why, because that really should be and is what drives me. But without that why, you really don't have that end goal or that vision that you can embody your business with, and then it just becomes like anything else. So I think that's really important, and I would really recommend those three.